Fables of La Fontaine. Democritus and the Aderanians. How I the base and vulgar hate, profane, unjust, and obstinate. So ever prone with lip and eye to turn the truth to calumny. The master of great Epicurus suffered from this rabble once, which shows even learning can secure us from the malice of the dunce. By all the people of his town was cried, Democritus is mad! But in his own land, well 'tis known, no prophet credit ever had. The truth within a nutshell lies, his friends were fools, and he was wise. The error spread to such extent that at length a deputation, with letters from Abdera's nation, to famed Hippocrates was sent, with humble earnest hope that he for madness might find remedy. Our fellow townsman, weeping said the deputation, lost his head through too much reading. Would that he had only read as much as we. To know how truly he insane is, he says, for instance, not more plain is, than that this earth is only one of million others round the sun, and all these shining worlds are full of people wise as well as dull. And not content with dreaming thus, with theories strange he puzzles us, asserting that his brain consists of some queer kind of airy mists. And more than this, he says that though he measures stars from earth below, what he himself is, he don't know. Long since, in friendly conversation, he was the wit of all the nation, but now alone he'll talk and mumble. So, great physician, if you can, pray come and cure this poor old man. Hippocrates, by all this jumble, was not deceived, but still he went. And here we see how accident can bring such meetings 'tween ourselves as scarce could managed be by elves. Hippocrates arrived to find that he whom all men called a fool was sage and wise and calm and cool. Still, searching for the innate mind in heart and brain of beast and man, retired beneath a leafy grove through which a murmuring brooklet ran. The sage with patient ardor strove the labyrinths of a skull to scan. Beside him lay full many a scroll by ancients written, and his soul was wrapped in learned thought, so holy that he scarcely saw his friend advance. Their greeting was but just a glance, for sages right well know the folly of idle compliment and word. So throwing off all forms absurd, they spoke in language large and free of man, his soul, and destiny, and then discussed the secret springs which move all bad or holy things. But 'tis not meet that I rehearse such weighty words in humble verse. From this short story we may see how much at fault the mob may be. And this being so, pray tell me why some venture to proclaim aloud that in the clamor of the crowd we hear the voice of deity. Well, there you have it. Democritus and the Aderanians. Well, what's this all about? Well, Democritus was one of the most intelligent people who ever lived. He was a philosopher. He is also known as the father of modern science. He came up with a theory of atoms, over 500 BC, which is, 2,500 years ago. So, he was from a place called Aderan. So the Aderanians are his townfolk. So these people basically didn't like the fact that Democritus was so smart and educated. So they said he was crazy. They didn't understand. So this is a warning. It says, even learning can't secure us from the malice of the dunce. So your learning is not going to be protection. That's going to help you against stupid people or average people, because they're not going to like intelligent people. They don't like people who like to learn and like to study. They would rather drink alcohol, watch sporting events, and just talk about nonsense, gossip and such like that. But here he says that these average type people would rather turn from truth to calumny. Now, what calumny means, it's when you misrepresent somebody intended to destroy them, destroy their reputation. You basically tell lies about the person. So this is what happened in this story. So the townspeople sent to Hippocrates, who is basically the father of medicine. Doctors take the Hippocratic Oath, which is named after Hippocrates, the father of medicine. So the townspeople sent for him because they said that Democritus was crazy, and they wanted Hippocrates to come and cure him. They said he lost his mind from reading too much. And to know how crazy he is, he talks about things like there are many worlds out in the universe that may have life, things like this, and that he has a soul and ideas and things like this. And he came up with the theory of atoms, what I mentioned before, and he talks about mathematics, how he can measure the distance of how far the stars are away while he's on Earth. So they thought that this was crazy, speaking about science and speaking about philosophy and things like that. So Hippocrates came, and even when they called on him, he knew that something strange was going on, because Hippocrates knew about Democritus. Just like these days we know who Elon Musk is or something like that, or in the 50s everybody knew who Einstein was. Well, Hippocrates knew who Democritus was because he was the Elon Musk of the day. He was the Einstein. He was, the smartest guy around. So when he showed up, he realized that this guy that everybody in the town, the Aderanians, they all said he was a crazy person. So instantly Hippocrates realized that these people are fools, because it was clear that Democritus was sage, which means wise, like a sage. He was wise, he was calm, and he was cool. So he wasn't crazy in any stretch of the imagination that you can call it. And while he was there, he was just sitting under some palm leaves to shade from the sun, and he was trying to figure out the mysteries of the mind, or either that, or he was actually examining an actual skull. I think what's meant from this is that he was trying to figure out what was inside his own skull. So he spent his life in learning, and this is, this is what the people didn't like. And then it ends by saying that the mob, the average people, are always proclaiming that in the clamor of the crowd, we hear the voice of God. So basically, democracy is ruled by average. Everybody has a vote in theory, and majority wins. So democracy, although it is a very good system, it basically means rule by average, which is one step above rule by below average, and probably a good step below rule by smart people, which is the way decisions should be made. You shouldn't just vote and go with the average person in democracy. And the United States has something called representative democracy, which tries to alleviate this by you vote for your representatives, you can vote for your president, but you don't actually really vote on issues. I'm sure some issues they vote on. But anyway, you're going to find this if you are smart, if you're interested in learning, if you're not interested in the average stuff that the crowds are into. Where I live, people like to drink beer and watch hockey games. And they just like to chat about trivia and whatever's going on in the newspaper, which is fine. But if you're a contemplative type, if you love to learn, if you're interested in things besides hockey games and beer and celebrities and things like that, then people are not going to like it. And these people are going to jibber jabber and talk and think you're a weirdo. That's the way it is. And your learning is not going to protect you from this. And they're probably not going to have nice things to say about you. So anyway, this is kind of a warning. So what does that mean? Should you not learn? No. Your education should begin after school. Life should be continual learning. In this world, you're basically given 3 pillars that hold up your stool, your milking stool. A milking stool has 3 legs, which means it doesn't wobble and can't tip. Whereas you get a 4-legged stool and one leg is shorter than the other, it's going to wobble around. Or if you have a 2-legged stool, it's not going to stand up at all. So your 3 pillars are your body, your mind, and your relationships, mainly your family. Because friends come and go, sadly, and acquaintances, but if you maintain a good relationship with your family members, that should last you your whole life. And these are the 3 legs of the stool that you stand on. So, yes, it's good to learn, it's good to have knowledge, but beware of the dangers of this. And you may want to learn stuff when you have the time, and make time for it, of course. And then when you're out with the crowd, try to blend in. Try to be the gray person. You know, that's just the best way. Or if your body is well developed and you're able to take care of yourself and you're confident, you should be able to defend yourself against this sort of thing by and large. But still, the whole crowd is that way. It's tough. Sometimes it's better just to keep your mouth shut. Sometimes it's better to try to enjoy what these people enjoy and make time for your education. And I include in that your physical education. Anyway, that's the story. If you have anything you'd like to comment on down below, please. Till next time. Bye. Love you.